trapped in a car with 2 broken femurs, an arm that wasn't functioning, and feeling warm stuff coming down my face as I sat in a car, desperately looking for my phone to call my family. It was a day that changed my life forever. December 12th, 2013, while on a missionary trip in Mexico, a friend of mine and I were driving back from the middle of the Yucatan Peninsula. We were driving to the city of Cancun. There was a pilgrimage going on, and an 18-wheeler avoided running over a group of about 20 kids. To spare their life, he hit us head on. The steering wheel ended up breaking both my femurs. My hip broke. My arm broke the window and ended up breaking my radius on the car. Windshield came in, cut my face, seatbelt, shattered my shoulder, and broke my clavicle. One of the worst feelings was simply breathing. Just to sit there, it hurt to breathe. I know Mexico, and it's the worst place to have this happen to you. 2 hours away from civilization. I knew I was up a creek without a paddle, and so my thought was simply on my family, my wife and my 3 children. My faith was intact. I knew where I stood. I wasn't scared. We waited about 2 hours till Mexican authorities and ambulances came to pull us out. One of the most peaceful moments I've ever experienced in my life was laying on a gurney strapped to it. I was laying on this gurney looking up, and it started to sprinkle. And as it started to sprinkle, I would see red, blue, and white drops coming down. And it was such a peaceful feeling. Not of death or not like I was leaving, but just a feeling of peace, unexplainable. I was stuck in Mexico for a week till they did botched surgeries on my legs so that I could catch an air ambulance home. When I arrived in the States, the doctors had to redo the surgeries that were done in Mexico. Without doctors' approval, at 7 weeks, I stood and took 12 steps. And 9 months after the accident, I completed my first triathlon. While recovering in a nursing home for a month, my local news channel came to interview me, and they asked, "Are you scared to die?" And I said, "I'm not scared to die. I'm scared to not truly live." And there's so many people today that are alive because there's breath in their lungs, but they're dead because there's no life inside of them. I was at a meeting, and a friend of mine, I saw him, and I was convinced he had had surgery. The last time I saw him was pretty close to 500 pounds, walking with a cane and could barely breathe. And I said, "Man, I'd like to try some of that because the lighter I am, the better it is on my legs." He said, "Yeah, tomorrow I'll give you a sample. I have some stuff back in the hotel room." I flew out the next morning to fulfill a 250-mile bike ride that starts in my hometown of McAllen, Texas to San Antonio, Texas for kids with spina bifida. And I flew home so I could go to registration and pick up my packet and do this fundraiser. So I didn't get a chance to get that sample. So a few weeks later, I'm trying to remember the name of it, and I'm Googling and I'm Googling and I'm Googling, and I find Keto OS. And so that's how I got started with Pruvit. The first day I drank it, I was not aware of what it had or what all it did to the body. I was thinking I'm in ketosis, I'm burning fat. I went and rode my bike about 2-3 hours. I came home, I started doing some of my office work. I started cleaning the house. I started reading a book. I started just doing stuff, and I looked at the clock and it was 2 a.m. and I was like, what is in this stuff? And so day 2 started off even earlier. I feel so good. I feel so much energy. I feel alive. Now I'm at the place where I can cross my leg, I can ride my bike, I can go on a run, I can go play soccer with my kids at the beach, I can go do things physically that before were not possible for me because of the inflammation that I have. People see me today and they wouldn't know unless they see the scars on my arm or my shoulder or my legs. They don't know that anything's happened to me. And then when I tell them the story, they're in awe. I believe that a lot of it had to do with God's plan for my life, but that God's plan for my life just got accentuated with Pruvit and with Keto OS in my life. My name is Jeremy Valladares, and I prove it every single day.